Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here. And I see so many familiar faces. Love you guys. What we often hear when people come to us for one-on-one work or in questions is, how can I get more members and how can I get more engagement in my community? And what we're going to do today is we're going to actually go underneath the proverbial iceberg because often the answers to those questions are actually underneath the water. So what you might see on top are sales and member engagement. What's really important is your underlying strategy, because you can feed engagement all day long, but it will not be self-sustaining until you are directing your members to value and they are actually intrinsically motivated to engage. Also, you can get new members over and over, but without solid strategies, you're going to be setting yourself up for churn. So we want to help you go underneath the iceberg, and we've got these 6 frameworks. It's going to be a little bit of a lightning round. Do not expect to walk away from today with mastery of these concepts. What we want to do is really give you clues for where you can look over the next quarter of 2023 and figure out where you may want to go in and troubleshoot. So this is a high level view. And with that, let's dive in.
Awesome.
Okay. So this is often where I start with a brand new client, is helping them write their community purpose statement. This is essentially why you exist, what makes your community different, and what you're hoping to change or accomplish. So we look at 3 areas: the who, the how, and the why. So I think we have, okay. So who is essentially like, who are your ideal members? Like, who is your community designed to serve? And when you're thinking about that, I also really like to think about who fits outside the definition. Getting more and more specific actually helps make your community stickier and creates more value for the people who are there. So what I mean by that is, if you were to build, say, a music lover community, that might be okay. But what if instead you built a community for people who just purchased their first guitar and you're going to teach them how to play their first 3 songs? And maybe then it's even more specific. It's parents who want to find free time for themselves by playing the guitar and hanging out. The more specific you become, the more you attract people who have more in common. So there's this great quote, which I think is on the next slide, and it's from Priya Parker, who wrote the book, The Art of Gathering. And she says, by closing the door, you create the room. So there's this feeling of not wanting to be exclusive, and we're not recommending that, but rather getting super specific, and your ideal audience will become clearer and clearer as you go. So if you have a brand new community, you may not have complete clarity, but as you go along, you'll start to find it. So that's the first part of your purpose statement. The next piece is kind of the what and the how will you serve your members, and what activities will people take together. And I've got an example for you at the end of what that can look like. And then equally important is your why. These are the individual results that a specific member will take. You're taking them from their point A to their point B, but it's also the collective impact of your community. Thinking really about your mission and how you can take your mission and bring others in the community alongside you to build a movement. So let's look at one example. This is fictitious, though it is somewhat inspired by a previous client. We bring together early career professionals, so super specific, seeking an intentional, abundant life with fewer online distractions. So that's the who. Through mindfulness practices and habit creation sprints, the what, we enable members to combat digital overwhelm, the results, thus enabling them to cultivate the abundance they desire in their lives and relationships. So you could even extend that a little bit more and think about what impact that would then have on their families and the world. But that's a quick example of what your community purpose statement should look like?
Mhm.